I now have the pleasure of introducing a woman who has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to promoting positive social transformation. Planned Parenthood of Illinois President and CEO Jennifer Welch. Before coming to PPIL, Jennifer was first Deputy Commissioner of the Chicago Department of Family Services, and she previously served as Policy Director for Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan. Before her tenure in government, Jennifer was the Executive Director of the Chicago Metropolitan Battered Women's Network, which is a coalition of Chicagoland's domestic violence providers. Last week, Jennifer celebrated her one-year planiversary. And for those of you who might not remember what was happening the first week of May last year, let me remind you that the U.S. House of Representatives passed the American Health Care Act, the worst bill for women's health in a generation. This was Jennifer's fourth day on the job. This vote and the others that were soon to follow wasn't going to stop Jennifer, and she has proven her dedication to the mission so many times over the past year. She marched for women and for our lives, took back the night, and represented PPIL at dozens of rallies and events. She inspired new staff and re-energized those who have been here for a while with her vision for PPIL. Jennifer has helped educate staff, supporters, and the general public that PPIL is more than a reproductive health care organization and that our movement needs to be intersectional because we live complex lives. We are proud to stand with you and lucky to have you as our fearless leader. Please welcome Jennifer Welch.
We have a lot of fearless leaders in this organization. Those are words you're going to hear a lot tonight, right? We need to be in this environment. So, good evening, everyone. This is a great way to celebrate my planiversary. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. It's an honor to stand in front of you just 1 year after I started this amazing journey. As I look over this room of supporters, it is both inspiring and humbling. Before I go any further, I do have to thank Donna Miller, who is a great leader and who's leaving us as board chair. As I've heard from so many of you this year, she's a stalwart of our movement. Donna, thank you for everything you do. Nearly 30 years ago, I worked as a healthcare assistant at Planned Parenthood, then it was called Planned Parenthood Chicagoland. I did it because the mission spoke to me. It was a simple idea that people should be empowered to make informed decisions about their reproductive health. It's still the core of our mission, and I still believe in it, and that's why I'm so happy to lead us now, and that we have to continue the fight every day. Every day at Planned Parenthood of Illinois, we're still working for some of the same rights. It's an African proverb that says, if I stand tall, I'm standing on the shoulders of those who have gone before me. Each generation of leaders has left their footprint on the fabric of our society, shaped by their time and their challenges. Their lasting legacies can be traced to the achievements that they've made for themselves and our futures. From abolition to votes for women, to the Civil Rights Act, to marriage equality, all of these things have come before us. And despite all of those advances, society still puts constraints on women's health. Stigma and a false informed sense of morality still influence sexual behavior and attitudes in the United States today, and it restricts our knowledge and our access to reproductive health care services. And those constraints are compounded by the stuff that Donna mentioned, the intersectional barriers such as unequal pay, unrealistic physical ideals and body shaming, systemic racial inequality, and gender-based violence. We seem to keep struggling with some of the same reproductive rights and access battles, and now they're coming up again and again in more ways. But Planned Parenthood keeps trying to do more for the people that we serve in the shadow of this constant defunding battle and ongoing attacks on our civil liberties. Whether it's ending the teen pregnancy prevention funding early, like the administration already did last year, or gutting family planning funding, which they're trying to do right now, the Trump-Pence administration is hell-bent on turning back the clock. But what tonight makes incredibly clear is that our foundational strengths, including both the outstanding services that Planned Parenthood provides and the strength of our movement, gives us the ability to weather obstacles and leverage change no matter what. Let me be clear. We will resist this administration's attempts to roll back the clock. I'm so proud that in the last year, PPIL has provided services to more than 66,000 women, men, and teens in the state of Illinois. We've opened the door for more than 110,000 visits at our 17 health centers. We've improved access to abortion by introducing surgical abortion services at our Roseland and our Springfield centers. We began offering medication abortion at 5 of our centers, and as Donna mentioned, we opened a beautiful new center on the southwest suburbs in Flossmoor. PPIL also became this year the first affiliate in the whole country to begin offering abortion appointments online so that people can make those calls sometimes in the middle of the night when they might have concerns about their sexual health. And that's what we try to do. We always try to meet our patients where they are and when they need us. I want to tell you a story about a patient named Vicki. She was a teacher for 8 years here in Chicago, and then she moved to Champaign last year to pursue her graduate degree. She decided to get an IUD, but the process of navigating a new healthcare system in her new town was confusing, until she found her local Planned Parenthood, one of our health centers, and she made her appointment online. Vicki said, "They trusted that I knew what I wanted. There was no second-guessing my decision about my preferred method of birth control. When I had to abruptly change the time of my next appointment, they accommodated me with the nearest clinic, and at that visit, I was greeted with the warmth and respect and treated so kindly by the healthcare professionals who assisted me. That's what Planned Parenthood Illinois is all about. Our team is focused on meeting patients like Vicki where they are and when they need us." We've been very busy at PPIL over the last few years. Everything I told you was just the last year of this amazing organization's life. But in recent years, we've launched pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, for our patients who are at high risk of HIV. And we began providing hormone therapy for our transgendered clients. And it was that work that earned us an award from Equality Illinois, the state's largest LGBTQ advocacy organization this year. Since the launch of our teen birth control campaign in 2016, PPIL has connected more than 2,000 teens to the most effective forms of birth control, long-acting reversible contraceptives, which we usually call LARCs, because really, who wants to say that whole thing? So you might have also heard that we had a very impressive legislative victory last year. HB 40 became law. That's right. Obviously, we had some great partners in that work, many of whom are here today. And HB 40 ensures that women seeking safe and legal abortion in the state of Illinois can no longer be discriminated against based on what type of insurance they have, or how much they earn, or where they get their insurance, or whether they work or don't work. And it safeguards Roe v. Wade should there be any legal changes at the federal level. Now, I'm telling you all of this to help you realize that our momentum is strong. Now it's time for us to continue to show up, to raise our voices, to cast our votes, and link our hearts with the brave, resilient generations who have come before us to maintain all of this ground that we have gained. Then we'll be providing the support for the next generation who can build on our achievements. Each of our individual journeys led us here tonight and galvanizes us for the work that we have to do. Think for a moment about where we are right now. Not just this beautiful historic room, and one of my table mates told me even more about the history of this room today, but think for a moment about where you are in your life, as a leader, an advocate, as an influencer. Who in your life has allowed you to stand on their shoulders? Who has built you up? For me, it was a woman named Florence Welch. Like Donna, I'm here today in front of you because I'm standing on the shoulders of my foremothers. Flo, that's what we call her in my family. Flo was a fiery 80-year-old when she told me, go to college, get a career, and by the way, live with any guy before you ever think of marrying him. This is fairly unusual for a Southside Irish woman, but she was firm in this. And because of that, I stand here in solidarity with each one of you, and plus our thousands of Planned Parenthood supporters across Illinois and more than 12 million Planned Parenthood defenders in the country. Cecile Richards likes to say, you know, that's twice as many supporters that the NRA has. And we stand here today for people for whom access to reproductive health care and reproductive justice has been too long denied. Those who have low income, who live in rural areas, who are young or people of color, immigrants of different faiths, or maybe they're just afraid to get the health care that they need. And you might ask yourself, why does PPIL keep talking about intersectionality, violence, immigration, and LGBTQ rights? And the answer is simple, because these are the people that we serve. You see, barriers to accessing reproductive health care doesn't just mean scarcity and want, it means rights denied and opportunities curtailed. I've already mentioned our fearless leader, Donna Miller, and at this time, I want to thank all of the members of our board of directors and our amazing staff. Will the board and the staff of PPIL please stand up? Come on. Right, yeah. Look at that. These amazing people are the backbone of our movement in Illinois, and they are building the just and equitable state that everyone in Illinois deserves. Thank you all so much. I hope that the next generation can safely stand on our shoulders. I'm lifting up my efforts for my niece, Michaela, and her daughter, Adrienne. I'm building on my individual commitment and all of our collective obligation as keepers of the next generation's trust to ensure that sexism, racism, classism, and other systemic barriers don't prevent those women from realizing every bit of their potential. As I look around this evening's gathering of passionate advocates for reproductive self-determination, there can be no question that progress comes because people like you make it happen. The power and the impact of the work that we do together, standing tall, shoulder to shoulder, will continue to propel us forward. Thank you for joining this movement, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to end with another quote from Cecile Richards, and she says it so simply and so well. One of us can be dismissed. Two of us can be ignored. But together, we are a movement. Together, we are unstoppable. Thank you.